I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. Beginning with our Election 2012 report today, we take a look at reaction from both the National Jewish Democratic Council and the Republican Jewish Coalition on presidential hopeful Mitt Romney's appointment of Paul Ryan as his running mate. The NJDC sent out a press release Monday listing 10 things every American Jew should know about Paul Ryan, saying Ryan's stance on key issues will reinforce the many reasons why the majority of American Jews will be voting for President Obama in the upcoming election. Some of those issues, the NJDC says, are Ryan wanting to end Medicare as we know it, and Ryan's little, if any, foreign policy and national security experience, saying Ryan pushed for cuts to the foreign aid budget that are strongly opposed by the pro-Israel community. The Republican Jewish Coalition praised Governor Romney's selection of Ryan, citing his determination to face our nation's most serious problems and his record of proven leadership. RJC's executive director Matt Brooks also said he was pleased that Romney chose a running mate who has a record Israel's ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren, has already praised as very supportive of the Jewish state, and said Ryan has earned appreciation from pro-Israel voters by rejecting the Obama administration's tactic of pressuring Israel to make concessions its leaders believe will undermine its security. Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi's legal advisor told an Egyptian paper that the new president is considering amending the Camp David Accords to give Egypt full control over the Sinai Peninsula. Mohamed Gadala told the Egyptian Al-Masri Al-Yum paper that Morsi is studying whether to amend the basis for the peace treaty signed between Israel and Egypt in 1979. As it stands now, Egypt is only allowed to keep a small military force in the area, though following the recent deadly terror attack on the Egypt-Israel border, which left 16 Egyptian policemen dead, Egypt increased its troops in the Sinai, which Israel agreed to. Israel has expressed its hope that Morsi will continue to work with Israel and honor the treaty. Ynet reports that New Delhi police have traveled to Iran to investigate the bombing of an Israeli diplomat's car in India earlier this year. Investigators left for Tehran to locate and question suspects in the bombing that injured Talio Shua Koren, the wife of a diplomat stationed with the Israeli Defense Ministry mission in India on February the 13th. On that same day, a car bomb was discovered on an Israeli diplomat's car in Tbilisi, Georgia, before it detonated. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had accused Iran of being behind the attacks, and Interpol had issued an international arrest warrant for the 4 Iranians suspected of involvement. Well, city leaders in Sacramento, California will be voting Tuesday evening on a resolution to make the Israeli city of Ashkelon its 10th sister city, which has stirred up some controversy in the capital. It began in 2009 when Sacramento's City Council made the Palestinian city of Bethlehem a sister city, which local Jewish groups agreed to support after the council promised to add an Israeli sister city down the road. And now that that day is here, pro-Palestinian activists and supporters of the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions, or BDS movement against Israel, are calling on the council to reject the resolution, claiming that Ashkelon is a symbol of discrimination against Sacramento's Palestinian American community, saying that Palestinians were displaced from Ashkelon after 1948 and accusing Israel of, quote, ethnic cleansing. Local Jewish leaders are mounting a counteroffensive, accusing BDS supporters of rewriting history and waging a war of delegitimization against the Jewish state. David Bragg, the executive director of Christians United for Israel, or CUFI, has also spoken out against the delegitimization effort, and over 20,000 of CUFI members have written emails of support. In an op-ed piece to the JTA, Reverend Victor Stursky, regional coordinator for CUFI, and Rabbi Reuven Taff of Sacramento's Mosaic Law Congregation cite the fact that Ashkelon, which has been the target of ongoing rocket attacks from Gaza, is in Israel proper on undisputed territory, and said Ashkelon has been unfairly maligned by Israel's detractors, seemingly motivated by blind hatred towards Israel. Further saying the arguments against extending sister city status to Ashkelon have been misleading to the point of absurdity. And finally, award-winning British actor Patrick Stewart is in Israel filming an Israeli movie called Hunting Elephants. Stewart, who is known to most from his work as Captain Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek The Next Generation and in the X-Men films, will spend about 3 weeks in Israel working on the film, where he plays a disgraced, eccentric British lord. The heist comedy tells of 3 Israeli senior citizens who help a 12-year-old boy hatch a plan to rob a bank in order to save his family home. Stewart, who had visited Israel a year ago, said he was glad to be back in the country, not as a tourist, but as part of an Israeli movie production. And that's Shalom TV's news update. I'm Teisha Bader.